He can't rally back from there. Asanoyama taking on Abe. Abe, he's a pusher thruster. He normally starts with a two-arm thrust to the throat of an opponent. Both he and Asanoyama have started well. 2 straight wins. They've only met twice before in history. Only once in the top division, and Abe was the winner. There's that two-arm thrust from Abe. Asanoyama taking all the punishment, gets taken back. Their neck is rocked back, but he fights back and gets in and under and takes out Abe. Oshidashi. Seems to be Kimarite of the day, Oshidashi. So Asanoyama's up to 3 straight wins. Abe drops to 2-1. That evens up their record in the top division. They've met twice and a win each. This man's got the real stuff. Abe entertaining as always, gets his thrusting attack going, but Asanoyama stands there and takes it and just waits for the opportunity to get inside. He does from there and pushes out Abe for the victory. Here we have Chionokuni and Myogiru. Three times they met in the top division. This man has won a couple of them, but the last time they met, Myogiru was the winner. They're both pusher thrusters. Myogiru can work the mawashi if needed. In low is Chionokuni, a slap-down attempt by Myogiru. He drives forward, a slap-down attempt, and I think it looks as though Chionokuni may have stepped out. We're all looking around, not quite sure what happened, but the Gyoji knows who won. He pointed the way of Myogiru. And that's the way it goes. Chionokuni dancing around there at the edge, almost like he was on eggshells. Everyone's not quite too sure what happened there, but if we see Chionokuni taken back, watch the foot. There, it's out. Now we have Shodai and Endo. They've met 4 times before. Endo has won just once back in September 2017, a year ago. Shodai's won the last 2 times they've met. In low is Endo, but taken back is Endo, and down goes Shodai at the same time. The Gyoji points the way of Shodai. The crowd a bit stunned, but there is going to be a mono-e. The judges are going to talk this over. Very close at the edge. Was it Shodai or Endo? Shodai lunges forward. Endo's footwork. He's at the edge. Shodai's about to go down. Shodai's foot arm late, then this is very tight. Nishikado said we talked it over. Had to decide whether it was same time or who was the winner, and it's Gumbai Dori, which means Shodai is adjudged the winner, confirming the Gyoji's decision. It was a case of arm and foot. Which one went out or which one went down? Oshidashi win for Shodai as Endo goes out first. It's a win for Shodai. Pick up his first. Endo, 3 losses. On the clay now, Mitakeumi Sekiwake taking on Komusumi Tamawashi. The supporters for Takayumi, they travel far and wide, and they're in the house again today. They met 14 times. Takayumi's won 12. So what can the Komusumi today do in this attack? He's a pusher thruster. Takayumi can do a bit of both. In low, Tamawashi, but now he's high. Takayumi slips to the side. Tamawashi rallies and drives forward. They go to the edge and down they go. Once again, the Gyoji has pointed the way of Mitakeumi, who's copped a bit of a knock on the face there as he's fallen off the dohyo. But it's another mono-e. Another judge's discussion. Now let's see how close this is. He tries to throw Mitakeumi. Down goes Tamawashi. Appears to be first. Well, I'd say that goes the way of Mitakeumi. We had to work out whether Tamawashi or Mitakeumi went down first. He said Doutai. Well, that surprises me. I thought Mitakeumi won that easily, but they're going to have a rematch. Well, that's a surprise. Anyway, that's their decision. They have to go again. Good tachi-ai, Tamawashi, but he's high again. He gets driven back and then slapped down. Well, no doubt this time. Mitakeumi wins by Hataki Komi. Slap down victory. Another loss for Tamawashi. That's 3 straight losses for him and 3 straight wins. Well, almost 4 really, but 3 straight wins officially for Mitakeumi. Good tachi-ai by Tamawashi, but he got caught high. In and under is Mitakeumi, drives forward and then sets it up for the slapdown. Maegashira 2, Chio Tairu taking on Ozeki Takayasu. Takayasu off to a good start. Suffering with back injury, but he's doing well. 2 straight wins. His opponent today, Chio Tairu, has 2 straight losses. Takayasu has the edge in their head-to-head. He's won 8 of 11. Slamming of the bodies at the tachi-ai. Chio Tairu drives forward, but down he goes. Hataki Komi win for Takayasu. Driven back, but had the wherewithal to keep Chio Tairu in his sights and slapped him on the back. Speaking of which, his back doesn't seem to be troubling him. Blasting each other at the tachi-ai. Now a left shoulder into the face of Chio Tairu. He then moves forward. There's one blast. Watch the shoulder right to the chin. He moves forward, but the Ozeki keeps his sights and slaps him down for the win. So, perfect start for the Ozeki. 3 straight. Now the next of our Ozeki to look at, Goeido takes on Sekiwake Ichinojo. Very even rivalry. They've actually met on the dohyo face-to-face 14 times, and they have 7 wins each. Looking quite calm today, Goeido. Straight on goes Goeido, slips to the side, does a dashinage move with the left hand, a pulling move. That gets the big man Ichinojo off balance. And in the end, it's an easy win for the Ozeki. So he's up to 2-1, dropping Ichinojo to 1-2. That was pretty typical, clever Goeido sumo. Took the charge head on, but used the left hand brilliantly. Straight on, gets the left in, the pulling maneuver, drives and wins by Oshidashi. Watch the left hand. Shallow, grabs the mawashi, then pulls, gets Ichinojo off balance and wins easily at the edge. Now the third of our Ozeki to look at, Tochinoshin taking on Komusubi Takakeisho. Interesting rivalry here. They've met 4 times, but Tochinoshin's only won once. He seems to have trouble getting a hold of Takakeisho. Takakeisho's had a tough start, 2 tough opponents for 2 losses. Takakeisho low. Tochinoshin wants the Mawashi, can't get it, and eventually is pulled down. A hand pull down, Hikiotoshi. I think the Ozeki was spending a little too much time trying to get the Mawashi, and that constant movement by Takakeisho as usual pays off today. Maintains his dominance over the Ozeki, Tochinoshin. First loss for Tochinoshin and first win in this tournament for Takakeisho. He moves, he pulls, he slips to the side, he grabs the hand and pulls there. Constant movement resulted in a victory for hard to catch Takakeisho. The Ozeki wants the Mawashi. He can't get it. He goes with the left and down he goes. It's Kaisei and Hakuho. It doesn't matter who it's been. Kaisei's never beaten a Yokozuna. He's met Hakuho 11 times, lost them all. Hakuho heading towards 800 wins as a Yokozuna. They're not too far away from 1,000 wins in the top division. Hakuho's solid left hand outside grip. Right hand inside for Kaisei. He wants the left hand outside. He now gets it. So Hakuho decides instead of an outside grip, concentrates on the inside and wins by Shitatenage. The underarm throw victory for Hakuho. So that's 12 straight wins against Kaisei. Hakuho first met him back in 2012 and has not lost once to Kaisei. So whether he's injured or not, you wouldn't think so. 3 straight wins for Hakuho, looking good. For Kaisei's, I guess one day he might beat a Yokozuna, but it still hasn't happened. Not only Hakuho, he's never beaten a Yokozuna in his career. Searching for that inside position. Then he tried to get the left hand outside, which he eventually did. So Hakuho decides, well, I won't go for the overarm throw. I'll go for the underarm throw. And sets it up nicely. Pivots. And it's a Shitatenage underarm throw victory for Hakuho. The second of our Yokozuna to look at. Kokuryu takes on Ikioi today. They've met 13 times. Kokuryu has won 9 of them. But Ikioi won the last time they met in July. Ikioi yet to get a win. He's 0-2. The Yokozuna 2 straight wins. Good head on. Lower is the Yokozuna. He gets taken back, slips to the side, and then thrusts down Ikioi. Now that wasn't pure. He wins by Tsukiyotoshi. Kind of whack in the eye for his trouble. Ikioi remains winless. And Kokuryu, perfect start in terms of numbers. 3 straight wins. He does have a habit of retreating for victories. And that happens more times than not in the first week. He comes in low, moves forward initially, but is then taken back, slips to the side, and there's the thrust down win. So Ikioi had his chance briefly as he moved forward. Had the Yokozuna in trouble, but bends the knee and goes down. The final bout of the day is Kiseno Sato taking on Maegashira 2 Yutakayama. Kiseno Sato, 2 straight wins to start the tournament. Last time he did that was March 2017. Yutakayama meets a Yokozuna in the final bout of the day for the first time in his career. He's yet to get a win. He's a pusher thruster. Kiseno Sato wants the Mawashi if possible. That's a false start, I would think. Yes, it is. Kiseno Sato a little too enthusiastic. So they'll go again. In low, Yutakayama thrusting away, missed with the second lot of thrusts. Tries to keep pressure on Kisano Sato, who's standing there and taking it. He's searching for that inside position with the left hand. He can't get in yet. He's in an awkward position. Now he's got the left in and the right out, but he can't maintain the grip. Quickly moving away is Yutakayama, who gets a solid position and now stops that grip with the left hand by the Yokozuna. A good move by Yutakayama. Kisano Sato not in the dominant position he was. He's driven back to the edge. He takes him one way, takes him the other, and takes him down. The Gyoji points the way of Kisano Sato, and that's the way it looked. Yutakayama looked to go down first. He's pointed for Kisano Sato. The fans love that. But once again, another mono-e. Exhausted, Yutakayama gave it everything he has. He's not a Mawashi man, but he definitely went down first there. Now, I'd be surprised if they rule a rematch here. That looked quite definitive. Gunbai Dori, okay, we agree with the Gyoji. So Kisano Sato goes to 3-0. Yutakayama, valiant in defeat, drops to 3 losses. Wow, what a way to finish a mono-e kind of day. 10 men share the lead with 3 wins straight, including 3 Yokozuna and 1 Ozeki. He's just keeping Yutakayama at bay, waiting for that moment. Now he does get in here, and he looks to be in a good position with a strong right-hand outside grip. But Yutakayama breaks that grip right there. That was a clever move. Swung the body around, and now it's up to a stamina. A case of who's got the stamina. Yutakayama drives forward, takes Kisano Sato back, takes him near the edge, but down goes Yutakayama. Wow, what a day of sumo. Great effort by Yutakayama. No win to show for it, but he'll be back tomorrow in the final bout again against another Yokozuna. Kisano Sato stays perfect with 9 others after 3 days. An exciting day of Grand Sumo highlights. So come back tomorrow and join us for more action for the September tournament. Bouts in sumo's top division begin with the Yokozuna ring entering ceremony. Included are wishes for a rich harvest. It's believed deities dwell in the white rope around the Yokozuna's waist. Making the rope, known as a tsuna, requires the combined strength of many rikishi. Each tsuna is custom-made. The longest measures 4.5 meters and weighs over 20 kilograms. 6 rikishi work together to fasten the rope. There are 2 styles of Yokozuna ring entering ceremonies. Here is the Shiranui style. Spreading the arms wide emphasizes the attack. There is also the Unyu style. The left arm is bent, the right extended. This pose signifies simultaneous defense and attack. Upon promotion, a Yokozuna chooses one style. He learns from a more senior Yokozuna, so he'll be ready to perform the ceremony.
Hey guys, potluck party today. The theme is Japanese food.
Cooking Japanese cuisine at home? Come visit NHK World's Japanese food website. Updated every week, the site introduces recipes NHK has accumulated in over 60 years of producing great cooking shows such as Dining with the Chef. The recipes can all be made at home and were created by famous Japanese chefs. Articles include interesting facts and trivia to help you learn all about Japanese food. Just follow the easy-to-understand recipes on the site.
Come in. Wow.
Enjoy healthy, seasonal, and delicious Japanese food at your home with NHK World's Japanese food website.
NHK World Japan brings Japan to the world. Our service is available to 300 million households worldwide, offering you the latest news every hour on the hour. Experience all the charms of Japan. Widen your horizons. NHK World Japan.
Hello, welcome back to NHK Newsline. I'm Kyoko Toshiro in Tokyo. Japan's Prime Minister and China's President say they'll work to improve relations. As part of that, Shinzo Abe told reporters he'll push ahead with plans to visit China next month. The two leaders met on the sidelines of an economic forum in eastern Russia.
The horizon is broadening on cooperation between Japan and China. Relations between our two countries are now on a normal track.
Through mutual cooperation, relations between Japan and China are back on track. We have to continue to cooperate and promote Sino-Japanese relations to develop a stable relationship that's moving forward in order to achieve development.
Abe told reporters the two agreed to build the foundation of peace and prosperity in Northeast Asia by raising bilateral relations to a new level. They also reaffirmed they'll cooperate closely on North Korea. Abe said they agreed their common goal is the denuclearization of the entire peninsula. Abe also said she would welcome his visit. The Prime Minister said officials will work to make it happen as early as next month. There is a growing momentum for improved ties as the countries prepare to mark the 40th anniversary of a bilateral peace and friendship treaty on October 23rd. Before recent improvements, relations between the countries had soured for years. Part of the tension was over the Japanese government's purchase of some of the Senkaku Islands in the East China Sea from their Japanese owner. Japan controls the islands. Its government maintains they're an inherent part of Japan's territory. China and Taiwan claim them. Staying in Russia, joint military drills with China are now underway in the far eastern part of the country. The drills are being described as Russia's biggest since the fall of the Soviet Union. Let's bring in Aiko Doden from our ION Asia desk for more. Aiko, what is the significance of these drills?
Well, Kyoko, it comes a few months after the U.S. disinvited China from participating in the U.S. military exercises in Hawaii known as RIMPAC. The U.S. military cited China's action in the contested waters of the South China Sea. It's the first time for China to take part in the drills in the Far East with Russia and is seen as a move to counter U.S. military dominance in Asia. The Vostok military exercises are held every 4 years. Russia's defense ministry says 300,000 soldiers, 36,000 tanks and 1,000 aircraft will take part. Chinese military's newspaper says about 3,200 Army and Air Force personnel will be involved. Turning to the Korean Peninsula, the North and South are opening a new hub to boost communication on Friday. The opening of the joint office is set to come just days before leaders from both sides meet in Pyongyang.
South and North Korea have agreed to hold the opening ceremony on Friday morning in front of the main gate of the Joint Liaison Office in Kaesong City.
South Korea's Unification Ministry says officials from both Koreas will start working right after Friday's ceremony. The ministry adds the new channel can be used around the clock for anything from reducing military tensions to improving inter-Korean relations. The office will be in a building at the Kaesong Industrial Complex, which is near the border on the north side. Both Koreas agreed to open the channel during their summit in April. Its opening was delayed by a few weeks because of a stall in denuclearization talks between the US and North Korea. Meanwhile, North Korea is touting its friendly ties with its traditional ally on state-run media. A report showed leader Kim Jong-un celebrating the 70th anniversary of the North Foundation with a high-ranking Chinese envoy.
우리 당과 국가군대의 최고령도자 김정은 동지께서 중화인민공화국 당 및 정부 대표단을 위하여 환영 공연과 성대한 요례를 마련하셨습니다.
Kim and the envoy Lee Jian-soo took in some musical performances together. Lee is the third highest-ranking Communist Party official and the highest-ranking official from China to visit the North since Kim took power. The event featured images of the North's founder and the late Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping hugging each other. Kim and Lee also dined together at a banquet. At that event, a large image showed Kim shaking hands with China's president. Analysts say the North is trying to show it has China's backing ahead of further talks with the US on denuclearization. People in Afghanistan are in mourning after another suicide attack in the eastern part of the country. At least 32 people were killed and 120 others were injured. It happened near the border of Pakistan on Tuesday. The suicide bomber targeted a group of 500 people who were blocking a highway to protest the police commander in Nangarhar province.
There was a huge blast and it killed and wounded many people. I have taken one of my friends to this hospital for treatment, but I don't know about the exact number of people who were killed and wounded.
No one has claimed responsibility for the attack so far, but the area is one of the few remaining strongholds of the Islamic State militant group. Elections for the lower house of parliament are slated for October, but escalating violence is creating doubt that they will be held as planned. Turning to Bangladesh, where a photojournalist and human rights activist who spoke out about last month's Swiss student-led anti-government protest has been denied bail. Shahidul Alam is facing charges of spreading propaganda and false information. The ordeal began in July after young people began protesting the killings of 2 students by an allegedly speeding bus driver. The demonstration quickly expanded in a matter of weeks. In an interview with Al Jazeera TV, Alam said the protest stemmed from wide-ranging problems, including a media crackdown, extrajudicial killings and corruption. Shortly after he was detained and has been in jail for over a month. Local media say Alam claims to have been tortured. The Bangladesh government maintains Alam spoke dangerously and incorrectly and played a major role in instigating the protest's violent turn. He faces up to 14 years if found guilty. We now turn to China, where fierce fighting broke out between Japanese and Chinese soldiers during World War II. In Yunnan province, thousands died on both sides, but tense relations have prevented many Japanese casualties from being identified. But as NHK World's Morikazu Izumo explains, there's a campaign to locate burial sites and repatriate their remains.
Su Zejin listens intently to an elderly man who recalls discovering the buried remains of some 30 Japanese soldiers. Su is a native of Yunnan. Her grandfather reminiscing about fighting on nearby battlegrounds inspired her to pass down war memories to younger generations.
I wondered why no one had bothered to record this. People merely passed it down orally.
During World War II, the Chinese military fought a fierce campaign against the Imperial Japanese Army here. The Chinese military, bolstered by US forces, destroyed many of the Japanese units. But there had been little historical research into the battle here. Su has interviewed more than 600 people over 30 years. With fewer witnesses to the battle, it's becoming increasingly difficult to establish facts and recover the war graves. Su recently met a man with valuable information.
There's a place we called the Hill of Japanese Graves. The Japanese were buried there.
Locals harbor complex feelings about Japan even now. But Su believes it's crucial to pinpoint where the Japanese soldiers were buried.
I personally believe the remains of those who died, whether they are Chinese or Japanese, should be returned to their homes to be mourned by their relatives.
Chinese government officials told NHK that they have been exhuming and storing the remains and possessions of what they believe are Japanese soldiers. But officials have not confirmed this publicly.
This is a sensitive matter that could affect diplomatic relations. It may take time to uncover the history, but Chinese and Japanese people need to look at the past to develop mutual understanding.
The remains of more than 200,000 Japanese soldiers are missing in China, and prospects for them to be returned home are not yet in sight. Morikazu Izumo, NHK World, Yunnan Province.
That's all for Ion Asia for now.
Thank you for that, Aiko. Now, people in Japan's northern prefecture of Hokkaido are struggling to recover from last week's powerful earthquake. Things are still far from back to normal, with over 1,000 displaced as the region copes with limited water and power supplies. The death toll from last Thursday's magnitude 6.7 quake now stands at 41. The majority of the victims were from the town of Atsuma, where massive landslides engulfed homes. Water has been restored in some areas of Atsuma, but most of it isn't drinkable. So Self-Defense Forces members are continuing to deliver supplies. About 1,500 people are still living in evacuation centers throughout the prefecture.
I'm starting to think about what happened and those who died. I also wonder when I can go home.
The government is also calling on residents and businesses to reduce power consumption by 20%, a difficult request as temperatures in Hokkaido are dropping.
I turned on the heater this morning just for a little while when it was really cold. I thought I'd quickly warm up my place.
The quake initially knocked out power to millions of households in the prefecture, and some power plants are yet to come back online. And now turning to the business side of the story, the government wants to know what caused the blackouts. Jean Otani joins us now from the business team. So, Jean, they're launching a probe into the Northern Prefecture's main utility.
That's right. A lot of questions need to be answered here, Kyoko. The industry ministry is asking Hokkaido Electric Company to explain what actually happened. Officials also want the power company to review its initial response to the earthquake and see whether it took the right measures. The government is questioning whether the utility had an over-reliance on the main power plant for electricity. Industry Minister Hiroshige Seko says restoring full power to the prefecture is the top priority, but he says it's also important to find the cause of the blackout, given the huge inconvenience it caused. Seko says it's necessary to have a transparent review. He suggested looking at the steps the utility took and having a third party verify the findings. Narrow the gap between the two countries. The U.S. wants bilateral negotiations toward a free trade agreement, but Japan prefers a multi-party trade deal. Meanwhile, Trump has been urging Japanese officials to take concrete measures to reduce the trade deficit and expressed hope for continued and active investment from Japan. He cited a proposal signed by the leaders of both countries and said Japan has offered to invest billions of dollars. Oreshkin said Japanese investment in the Far East is accelerating. Vice Minister
filed for bankruptcy protection as losses linked to the U.S. subprime mortgage market piled up.
This is a once-in-a-half-century, probably once-in-a-century type of event.
The investment bank had amassed debt of more than $600
soared with the Dow Jones Industrial Average nearing an all-time high. Even the U.S. housing market, which was a catalyst for the crisis, appears to be booming again. Average home prices across the country are now higher than they were before the 2008
Hi.
How are you? Lee Hicks.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Lee Hicks is one of those benefiting from the resurgent market. He was laid off after the crisis, but he's now a proud homeowner. It's a luxurious house with a pool. About $2 billion in total. Its success comes in large part from a clampdown on bank lending criteria after the crisis. This allowed non-bank lenders to flourish.
We are the result of the crisis, and we are now
He was at the forefront of efforts to control the damage, leading the attempt to try and save Lehman Brothers. He then served as Treasury Secretary under President Barack Obama. In an exclusive interview with NHK, Geithner
relative stability. So knowledge tends to erode over time. Memory fades.
Geithner is concerned that regulations are limiting the Federal Reserve's ability to lend money in the event of a new financial shock. He says it's difficult for the Fed to quickly
have to go back to Congress and ask for additional authority before they'd be able to mount an effective response. And the risks in that is, because these things can happen very quickly, the risks in that is that the country will be late. We think there's a good case for Oh yeah, definitely. I think the thing about financial crises is that we've got centuries of experience with them. They're not a new thing. I think our experience will be very valuable to other countries and to our successors, because we gave people a set of tools and knowledge, experience.
In the region, there are grave concerns for the safety of civilians.
Our top-line message is there needs to be ways of dealing with this problem that don't turn the next few months in Idlib into the worst humanitarian catastrophe.
All-out offensive in Idlib, backed by Russia and Iran. Monitoring group, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, reports airstrikes and artillery attacks in the area left 26 people dead during the week through Monday. The victims include women and children. Efforts for a ceasefire fell through last week after the presidents of Russia, Iran, and Turkey failed to reach an agreement. And now moving on to world weather with our meteorologist, Carly Gomez. Carly, eyes are on
at a Category 4 system. It was believed to maybe at least de-intensify before making landfall. At this point, it looks as though it may actually remain a Category 4. And right behind it, we are looking at Helene, another hurricane, and another system. Tropical storm Isaac has just been Florence, and just the magnitude of this system here just taking up so much room through the Atlantic, and that's going to be heading its way right into North Carolina. It's been about 64 years since the last Cat 4 made landfall there. Here, a tropical disturbance between Cuba and starting to break up. So that would be a very dangerous scenario there. Wind gusts at 268 kilometers per hour. We're currently seeing a lot of rainfall with a stationary front connected to a cold front that's beginning to move off into the Atlantic. This has already brought in heavy rainfall, showers, and excess of rain with some flooding for areas of the Gulf of Mexico around Texas also. So with all that oversaturated soil, we are seeing Florence move in, bringing in additional rainfall. So many people preparing there for that, and hopefully many were able to get out in time. Behind it, high pressure. We're seeing a lot of clearing, sunshine, but some cooler temperatures. High pressure through the central U.S. and western U.S. with sunshine. Low pressure system Pacific Northwest is creating some more rainfall. Let's take a look now at Olivia. This has been downgraded from hurricane to a tropical storm headed toward Hawaii. West movement 24 kilometers per hour. That'll begin moving right through the islands as we move into the next 24 to 48 hours. Now wind speeds here, it's 85 kilometers per hour, gusts 101 kilometers per hour. Dangerous surf there. Here's a massive typhoon, violent in fact. We're looking at Manghut that'll continue its movement here west 20 kilometers per hour between Taiwan and northern Philippines. Now we could expect it to move right between the two, maintaining its strength and then impacting Hong Kong by Sunday. Otherwise, it could lose intensity if it moves over areas of northern Philippines, starting to lose some of its strength, but still impacting that area as well. We're looking at a tropical storm system through southern China. That's continuing its movement. That's going to bring about 80 millimeters of rainfall. It's already brought heavy rain, and then behind it, Manghut there. So we'll see a lot of rainfall for eastern China with the stationary front over Japan. Temperatures for the region, 29 Shanghai, 31 in Taipei, Tokyo, 24 degrees. That's your weather for now. Have a great day. And that's all we have for this hour, but we'll be back with more, so please stay with us on NHK World Japan.
Cycle around Japan. Mie, a summer dream. From mountain forests to a superb coastline, a 300-kilometer ride through Mie.
Cool breeze coming off the sea.
Fantastic food and fascinating culture. Don't miss it. Medical Frontiers Special. In Oita Prefecture, we look at superfoods used in the local diet and bring you some healthy and delicious recipes using them.
Tokyo Night Guide. From a hot new spot that's attracting a flood of female fans, to sports centers where you can work up a sweat, to places to grab a special midnight snack, we go on a tour of Tokyo After Dark.
Delicious.
Welcome to Tokyo Eye 2020, showcasing one of the world's greatest cities and the host of the 2020 Olympics and Paralympics. Hi, I'm Chris Butler. This time we take a look at Tokyo at night. Now, in recent years, people around the world have started talking about the nighttime economy, putting a spotlight on the positive economic effects of nighttime activities. And our guide is Felicia. How are you, Felicia?
Fine, thank you. Yeah, you know, tourists that I hear recently are saying they want to go out, keep on exploring at night, but then they end up back at their hotel. But if you do a little bit of research, you can find that there are lots of interesting things to do in the city at night. So let's have a look at some of those popular night spots.
The glittering Tokyo night offers many cool, interesting places where you can have a good time. Our first stop is right next to Tokyo Tower. It's a luxury hotel. On the property is an attraction that lots of young people are currently flocking to.
Wow! Wow, look at all these people! Look at it! Oh, there's a good mood going on over here. Look at it! It's a night pool!
During the summer months, this hotel opens its pool between the hours of 6 and 9 p.m. It's just a 1-minute walk from Onarimon Station. In recent years in Tokyo, many pools have started staying open at night during the hot and humid summer. And this night pool, right below soaring Tokyo Tower, is especially popular. A busy evening can see around 500 visitors.
Check this out, you know, I just was walking around here and I noticed something, and I wonder if you noticed too. Everybody has their cell phone and everybody's makeup and hair is perfect. Check this out.
A lot of people who come here want to get that perfect selfie. So they bring waterproof gear that lets them take their smartphones and cameras into the water. All the large floats in the water make this a great photo spot. That's a big reason the pool is so popular. One float that's especially popular is this seashell shape. Sitting inside makes you feel like a mermaid. There's even a line to use this float. Word about this pool spread through posts on social media. Now, people come from far and wide just to visit.
今日何枚取った？
今日は200枚ぐらい。
200枚？200枚。
200 photos. We asked them to show us some of their favorites.
あ、かわいい。That's cute. かわいいかわいい。楽しんでる。
楽しんでます。
ねえ、いっぱいあるよね、カメラ。こっちに？なんかかわいいから。
In addition to their smartphones, this pair brought extra digital cameras. Her smartphone case even lights up. She also has an app that lets you add animal features to your face.
すごい! Look at my face!
これはベア。
ベア! I'm a bear!
かわいい写真をいっぱい撮りたい。
撮ったでしょ。
かわいい？
かわいい。
一番かわいいやつ。
This has become quite a trendy spot to enjoy a summer night in Tokyo. Felicia's next stop is Asakusa. This is the famous Kaminarimon Gate at Sensoji Temple. Each night, Sensoji is lit up from sunset until about 11 p.m. It feels very different from the daytime. There's an almost mystical sense of calm. There are people who visit at night to pray, too. The approach to the temple is lined with shops. Unfortunately, most close around 6. If you're a tourist visiting here, closed shops probably aren't what you're after. So Felicia visits a place near Sensoji that's open late into the night. It's a 3-minute walk from Sensoji, and it's also walkable from Asakusa Station.
Check this out. It's an indoor batting cage.
These are baseball batting cages. Step into the cage and try to hit the ball. The system is simple. Video of a pro ball player is shown on the monitor. He pitches the ball. Anyone can enjoy swinging the bat, even if you don't play baseball.
でも気軽に軽く運動ができるっていうところがストレス発散。
当たると気持ちいい。
All right. Everybody's having such a good time. I'm going to give it a try myself, even though I don't play baseball. Let's give it a shot. Okay. All right. Got some bats to choose. I'll take this cute pink one over here. And here's the machine. As you can see, we have different speeds, starting from 70 all the way up to 150. I'm going to be going with 70 as this is my first time.
Felicia doesn't have much baseball experience, but she does play golf. Will her swing? Here comes the first pitch.
I need a thicker bat.
One round trip takes an hour. One outstanding feature of Tokyo Bay's night skyline is Rainbow Bridge. On this cruise, you get a close-up view of its stunning nighttime lights. The interior of the ship becomes a bar floating on the bay. This cruise is popular with everyone from tourists to business people.